In this quick lecture, I just want to go over what each section in this course will cover. Alright, so you're watching section 1 now. It's an intro to the course as well as Angular itself. We're going to talk about what Angular is and also a little bit about the versions because it does confuse some people on why it went from Angular 2 to Angular 4. So we're going to talk about that. In section 2, we're going to set up our development environment, including Node.js, the VS Code text editor, and I'll show you how to install and set up Angular with the CLI as well as with the Quick Start seed. Then we're going to really look into the file structure of an Angular application and really see what powers it. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about what TypeScript is before we actually start using it. In section 3, we're going to talk about components, why use them, how to create them. We'll also look at modules, an ng module, data binding, and string interpolation, as well as the different types of types that are available with TypeScript. Section 4 will be on template syntax, so we're going to look at things like conditionals using ngIf, loops using ng-for, pipes, property binding, and more. Section 5 will be on events and forms. We'll look at the different mouse and input events, template-driven forms, two-way data binding using ngModel, as well as a little bit of data validation. I'll also show you how to set up Bootstrap 4 with an Angular 4 application. In section 6, we're going to be talking about services in HTTP. A service is a way to send data and functionality across multiple components. We'll talk about the advantages of services, and then we'll create one. We're also going to look at observables, which are kind of like data streams, and then the rest of the section will be dedicated to the HTTP component and making requests to a server. Section 7 will be on the Angular router, which is used to allow multiple URLs to point to different views and different components. I'll also show you how to use URL parameters. Section 8 will be the basic project that we're going to be building, which will be the FAQ app. There's going to be things that we missed in previous videos, like nested components, as well as input and output from components, and we're going to cover those in this section. And then in section 9 and 10, those will be dedicated to our advanced project, which will be a client management panel with authentication and data integration from Firebase, which is a popular cloud platform. Alright, so here's a summary of all the important aspects that you're going to learn in this course. There isn't much about Angular that isn't here, and it may seem like a lot, but don't let that overwhelm you. We're going to start very slow, and then I'm going to try to explain everything as in simple terms as possible. So sit back, relax, and take everything in. I will see you in the next video where we talk about what Angular actually is.